I don't get all this talk of England and easier routes to the World Cup final. It's baffling nonsense. Everyone who is getting involved in this stupid debate seems to be ignoring one immovable fact about what comes next. It's a knockout. So, looking down the line, thinking you can plot an easier path through, it's either arrogant in the extreme or totally naive. Let me put it this way, no disrespect to Japan, but that's an easier game than Colombia. So those people talking about getting an easier route by playing Colombia, well, straight away you are plunged into a much tougher match. What do you want? An easier game now in the first knockout round, and a potentially harder one next, or a much harder one now and a potentially easier one next? Simple. You take the easier one first, because it's a knockout, and you're then in a quarter-final of the World Cup. England would have a better chance of making the quarter-finals if it was Japan next. Image, PA, who knows what will happen? Who says it will be Brazil in the quarters, if Belgium beat Japan? A game England could have had if they'd drawn their final group game against Roberto Martinez's side. Brazil play Mexico next and that's no gimme, especially the way they have been playing so far, with Neymar so anonymous by his standards. I don't know if he's not really fit, or whether his injury is still having an effect, but their best player to this point has been Felipe Coutinho, not him. I'd say this as well, any England player who wants to avoid Brazil, who is scared of this Brazil team and wants an easier route into the semi-final, should not be out there in Russia. England now avoid Brazil, but with Neymar playing like he is they may not make the last 8. Image, Getty. This Brazil side is nothing on the team we faced in 2002 in the quarter-finals. Just look at the teams. The side we faced had Roberto Carlos, Cafu, Ronaldinho, Ronaldo, Rivaldo. They were as dangerous as hell. And yet we still shouldn't have lost to them. In fact, ask virtually any member of that England squad, and they'd say we weren't scared of them. It could have gone either way, and that was a vintage Brazil side. I have my frustrations about that quarter-final. Michael Owen wasn't right, was struggling with an injury and we were trailing 2-1 against 10 men. Sven-Göran Eriksson waited until the 80th minute to bring another striker on. In fact, he brought on 2, but not me. I sat there thinking I could be the difference. I still think that now. I had to think like that. I was a striker with total belief in my ability, and one who knew I had to be confident and ready if I went on. It didn't work out, but we weren't intimidated. We should have won. I think I could have delivered that win. I understand the talk about England having an inferiority complex against the big nations in tournaments. The last few World Cups, we've gone out to Brazil, Portugal, Germany, Italy/Uruguay. But you can't live in fear just because of a name. And conversely, you can't live off a name forever. This Brazil side can be beaten. If Serbia had taken their chances, they could be out already. There's the other side to the coin, too. Everyone is expecting England to beat Colombia now, but it's a tough game. Forget the Belgium game. It meant little, with 2 B teams, and England's B team slightly worse than theirs. But in the first 2 games, Southgate's side looked good because they had possession. I know James Rodriguez is injured and probably won't play, but Colombia will be much better on the ball. Even without James Rodriguez, Colombia are tougher opponents than Japan would be. Image, Reuters. Another thing, England have done the Colombia manager Jose Picoman's team talk for him now. All he has to do is get those snippets from the media about an easier route to the semi-final. His last words before they go out will be, "They think we're easy opponents. Let's show them how easy it will be." The good news is that I know Gareth Southgate well, from way back in 1996 and the Euros, and he would never think about easier games. As long as he keeps his team professional and focused, can repeat their brilliant set-piece work so far and stay tight at the back, then, hopefully, they can go a lot further.